Welcome to Tiny Rails, the fun little game with a train. I am currently doing the Africa quests, which involve the Great Train Race, apparently, where all the wonderful trains from all the various rivals are going to have some kind of race with booby traps. And last time around, I went to Japan, and then it sent me back to Africa, and hopefully I should be coming somewhere close to my destination in Africa. Somewhat close. Not as close as I'd necessarily like, but that is my destination up there, Gafsa. And my train has been configured from a couple of episodes ago into this new wonderful configuration where it's essentially configured more for passengers now than it is for cargo, because I don't need to transport much cargo, as there's very few places left that need cargo that I can get to. So I have 5 cars at the front, which are various entertainment or food cars. 1 passenger car, which is a level 1 that needs upgrading, followed by a load more passenger cars, a couple of toilets, a couple more passenger cars, and 3 cargo cars, and a caboose, which has about 21,000 in it at the moment. So, if I go check the wonders of... I'm in Africa... Chapter 1-4 by camera film from Gafsa TN. Not entirely sure what Tunisia, I'm guessing. That is my current task for Mr. Higgs, who is the proprietor of the Great Train Race that I'm taking part in, or will be taking part in, I assume, at some point. And there's nothing at this station that I want, so just drop off passengers, pick up a few more. And onwards and upwards we go. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day in Africa. Really don't know what to say about that. Let me think. As I'm recording this one, there will be a couple of days before it gets uploaded. I believe tomorrow is the Carabao Cup final with Manchester City and Aston Villa, which isn't on American television. So I will attempt to monitor that via the internet, I'm sure, when it takes place. I've got a load of cleaning to do, and I've got a project I'm working on which involves old comics and stuff from Britain from the 1980s and 70s, which I need to sort out, so that should keep me busy in the meantime. That, and I'm also, at the same time I'm playing this game, I'm actually playing Click Your Heroes, which is an idle type game. That's going on one of the other screens on my PC. In theory, I've actually got some work I should be doing as well. Oh, something I actually need and actually want to buy. Salt. Yes, between coming back from Japan and moving to this place in Africa, I took a detour to one of my depots to drop off everything that was on my train, just because I can't carry that much cargo now. I've reconfigured my train to mainly carry passengers, so it was getting kind of full, so I figured I'd drop it off along the way. And next station after this one will be the next part of the quest. I've managed to get up to getting close to 500,000 in cash again. It was about 2 episodes ago I spent about 17 million, which I'd accumulated. And for those who are really curious, never mind, let me get in and out of this station. There's nothing at this station I want. I'm in theory got almost 100% of North America. It's not quite complete, otherwise I'd get a tick mark there and a reward. I've completed Alaska. I am 92% of the way through Europe, 95% of the way through Russia, 84% of the way through Asia, and 94% of the way through Oceania, and I'm currently doing the Africa quests. So here we go. I've got to buy... oh, that's it, camera film. Lance, who really wants to see Cyril in HD? Mr. Higgs spares no expense. That's the truth. Next time we see him, I'm going to pick his brain and see if I can get those depots costs lowered. He won't budge. The best we can do is win the race and win back some of our depot expenses. Then we could buy the depot in Africa. Wait a minute. He's going to win in the end no matter what. So sneaky. Don't let that deter us from victory. I really want that trophy. Okay, so whatever this great race is, I've now managed to complete the next stage of the quest. Now I've got to buy a VR drone cargo from Macau in China. Okay, it's the fastest way to Macau. Which is over there. It's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen the other. I can go this way to that Africa West port, take the train, or the boat to Southeast Asia port, then travel around this way. Or I could take the boat to there, and go down that way. Or I could cut it right straight across here and across. Neither of which are particularly great winning strategies, but I'm going to take a boat back to... missed. Let me zoom in. Right, helps if I can click the right place. Because going through this way, I'll pick up some more peanuts and salt, 2 of the resources that are still outstanding that I can actually use. Take the boat to Japan and go from Japan down to Macau. Because in Japan, there are also some lotus flower resources, which I need for 1 station in China. There are 2 outstanding stations I've got still to fulfill the resource requirements for in China. One wants lotus flowers, the other wants cauliflowers. And cauliflowers I can only find in Africa South. But there's at least 1 place that wants salt and 1 place that wants peanuts. So I will pick some of those up along the way. And I went silent there because I had a coughing fit. That's a little more salt, no peanuts. I might as well collect money from any jobs I've completed. I'm about to complete another job by the looks of it because I've got an obstacle in the way. So let me just... or an obstruction, as they term it. Yes, thank you for the explanation of whatever job I just picked up. Alright, that's me with a full set of jobs again. Let's think, what else is going on? Oh, I got a second friend to agree to my bet. That I bet one colleague / friend at work that Donald Trump will win re-election in 2020. It's only $20. I got a second friend to agree to that yesterday as well. So if Donald Trump wins, I pick up $40. If he loses, I get a different American president. So I'm good either way. But the first friend I made that bet with, he's pretty much conceded at this point. He's a avid Democrat who studies the Democratic debates and all the press that goes on around the Democratic selection process, or the Democratic Party selection process, and he's horrified, essentially, with the way that's going. So he's pretty unhappy with the fact that he might lose the bet, and he's pretty close to conceding at this point. And we've still got however many months it is to go. 7, 8 months before the election actually takes place. Some more salt. I need about 600 salt, so it's going to take me a while to collect the amount of salt I actually need. Oh, looks like my train could do with a clean according to that carriage on the left of the screen. Probably could do with some maintenance as well. Well, I've now got over 500,000 in cash, which is kind of nice. It's got a ways before that one actually gets upgraded. Oh good, even more salt. Going quite well for salt. Not finding any peanuts, but I am finding quite a bit of salt. Normally you find both in Africa West. But yes, as I mentioned when I reconfigured my train and put these 5 money-making cars at the front and all these passenger cars, because I don't need cargo, I do need a lot of money to be able to upgrade the train stations in the various areas to especially North America and Asia, and Russia for that matter actually, so that I can complete those areas. Okay, the station has got nothing that I want. So the more passengers I carry, the more money that goes into my caboose, and hence the faster I get to my targets. Because I'm not making money off cargo, not that you make much money off cargo, I'm still going to make most of my money off completing jobs, but the additional revenue from passengers is always welcome. Nothing in that station that I want either. I'm doing well for getting stuff out of stations. I'm just wondering which chapter it is of the Africa quest that I'm actually going to get to play in the actual Great Race, or the Great Train Race. Because this chapter seems to be run round the world and collect stuff for Mr. Higgs. Ah, peanuts and salt. Always nice. We head on to good old Fes, being the next place, or the next station. What else is going on in the world? Oh, the Formula 1 testing season has started / ended. Getting closer to the wonders of another Formula 1 season, where I hope Hamilton doesn't win the wonderful championship, as I'm not a fan. It's not anything particularly about Hamilton as such that I don't like, it's the fact he whines. I don't care that he's good, he's got the best car, or anything else about him. It's that he whines so much when things don't go his way. It's always someone else's fault that they screwed up and they cost him a chance to win. Whereas, whether it be Vettel, Verstappen, Bottas, Leclerc, they don't complain about everybody else screwing up, and when they make a mistake they're willing to admit to it. With Hamilton, it's always someone else's fault. Hence, it's probably a very English trait, but we don't like whiners. Very much the English stiff upper lip, sort of suck it up, sort of deal with it. These are problems, they happen, get over it attitude. We really don't like people that whine about the way things are going, especially the people that whine and blame everybody else for things. Oh, that's quite a lot of peanuts. 16 in one station. As we go through the night, into the early hours of May 19th, year 13. Yes, I spent a lot of time playing this game. As I put in a comment someone made in one of the last few episodes of, you know, is this game worth it, or about how long have I played this game? If you want to think of it as this game cost something like $10, I might have got it in a sale, it might have even been cheaper than that. And I've done more than 600 hours in this game. Yes, you've seen, this is episode 82, 83. Oh yes, I'm going to the Asia Esport, aren't I? Right, I want to go down to there for now. Yeah, so I've done 600 plus hours in this game for, call it $10. Well, that's per hour. That's rather cheap entertainment. Admittedly, some of those hours the game has been basically running by itself. I set a destination because that's where I'm headed next, and I'm halfway across the world, and I'll put it back to the main menu, and just come back half an hour later and find my train is at its destination. That happens relatively frequently, or you set its destination as a depot, so you can drop off all your stuff. That's the thing I want, lotus flowers. So there are large parts of that about the game, as well as your train will continue to happily move around the world when it's not actually running, as long as you don't set a destination. So if you just let it basically free roam, then you will pick up some cargo from obstructions whilst it's free roaming, and you'll also get money from passengers, but you won't be able to deliver or pick up cargo. That's one way of basically getting yourself out of dire financial straits overnight. But I must admit, I tend to play this game a lot whilst reading a book, or watching sports, or pottering around doing stuff, because you can set a destination, walk away, and come back, and there's no downside. It just means you're not spending a lot of time playing the game directly. It has that advantage. One of the things I like about games like this, that's one of the things I like about Clicker Heroes as well. It doesn't require as much involvement as a lot of games. So even though you can rack up a lot of hours playing it, there's a lot of times when you won't actually be playing it, but it may still be active. Collect a few more lotus flowers. Oh, okay. Let me go back into there, as the cargo list has just refreshed to pick up some more lotus flowers. I think I only need about a couple of hundred lotus flowers for Harbin. That's the name of the place. Which is right there. Yeah, I need 210 lotus flowers. But as you can only find them in Japan, it takes quite a while to pick up even just 210 of them. But everything else I can pick up by the way of cargo in Japan, I don't need anymore, because I've used it and delivered it to wherever it is it needed to go. There's a lot of it that's needed in China, and there's a lot of it needed in Africa. But as I've pretty much fulfilled those things, in China, I think I mentioned this Harbin, the place I just showed, that requires lotus flowers. And it's Shenzhou, I think, might be the other one, that requires cauliflowers, and that requires about another 630 or so of those I need. Oh good, lots of lotus flowers there. Okay, now just let me sell the stuff I don't need. That's it, my cargo capacity is down to 185 with my current train configuration. And let's set my destination down to there. Going to take a little while to get there. So I might as well collect the money from all the jobs I've completed. Okay, I need a load more jobs. So I've got 5 out of the 10 jobs. I can have 6. 7. 8. 9. Yes, I can count. 10. Okay, that's 10 jobs lined up. Any more lotus flowers? Nope. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a trek to Okinawa, which was one of the locations in... I don't know if they actually went there, but it was Karate Kid 2. Which I forget who was set up meant to be the star of Karate Kid. It wasn't meant to be Ralph Macchio. They had someone else in mind, but who either dropped out or they decided they didn't want in the end. But he was not the first choice. It's a film that made him, as far as his level of stardom, but he was not the original first choice. Which reminds me, there is a TV channel in America. I can't remember which one it is. DirecTV channel 238. Might be... no, it's not Audience. I forget what the channel name is. But it does a good load of behind-the-scenes stuff on gangsters and various crime stuff. But it does it on TV series as well now. And they did a behind-the-scenes of the Brady Bunch, which was not big in England. So I didn't know a great deal about that. But it also did a behind-the-scenes on the wonderful John Carpenter film, The Breakfast Club. And it's amazing how well that film has lasted. It's an amazing film that, according to the behind-the-scenes stuff, the studio had no idea how to market, and they thought it was quite boring because it's mainly 5 kids sat around in a library talking, and yet it hit the note with so many teenagers of the era it came out in, and it still does to this day, apparently. Apparently, professors or lecturers who show The Breakfast Club as an example of X, Y, and Z for their lectures in South America, all over the world, and pretty much everybody they're showing this to in colleges has seen it and can quote large chunks of it back at them, because it's one of those films that just transcends generations and cultures. It is just that well made. It's one of those amazingly good films, kind of like, this is going back even further in time, and not a film I'm overly familiar with, but 12 Angry Men. Or if you've ever seen the film Conspiracy, which has Kenneth Branagh and Colin Firth and a whole bunch of really good actors in it, about 12 high-ranking Nazis sat around a table basically planning the final solution. The Wannsee Conference, which was based on a German film, which I've actually seen, but the German film assumes you can recognise the characters without actually introducing them, which was hard for me because I didn't recognise the characters. Whereas the film Conspiracy, it actually gave you an explanation of who was whom and their position, and introduced the characters in rather a better way. But the impact of both is pretty much the same. It's 12 guys sat around a table discussing something. and yet it is one of the best films to sit there and watch and actually get into understanding of how these things work. They're just well-made films. Breakfast Club is of a similar thing. 5 people sat around discussing things, and yet it resonates. Yes, I'm talking about these things because I know I'm on a long journeys with not much happening on the screen. And I've still got a couple of stations to go. 1, 2, 3. And this is why Asia is only 84% complete, because all these stations need to be upgraded, and they're going to cost me $1.5 million at least, or $3 million to upgrade them. And that's a lot of money, because there's a lot of stations in this area, all of which need upgrading. I've upgraded all the cheaper ones. That's it. Shenzhen, that's the place I've got to deliver cauliflower to. Another 632 to be precise. And I don't have 632. Train a quick clean. I look at my depot. I've actually got 22 sat in my depot. So I need to go out and find another 610, which is slow going because they're normally in lumps of 1 or 2 in stations in Africa South. I don't need any of that stuff. So you have to spend a lot of time travelling around Africa South to pick up. Well, if you do a trip round every single station in Africa South, which will take probably the best part of an hour in real time, then it will you'll probably end up with 60, 70 each time. So that's probably 10 hours of real time to collect that 600 cauliflower I need. So it's not a high priority on my list of things to do right now. How's this carriage coming along? It's over halfway to level 2 before it is entertained. Before it's upgraded. Sorry, entertainment came in front of my eyes and my mind wandered. I think, as I mean, going through things that are happening in the world, coronavirus is of course going on, and who knows how that one's going to end. Not looking particularly great for the world. That's nothing I want in that station. Ah, good. The next station is the one I'm aiming for. Yes. Admittedly, it's not highly deadly coronavirus, unless you have pretty much pre-existing conditions that weaken your immune system anyway, or cause you health complications. So it's not going to wipe out the world's population. It may, if it goes badly unchecked, damage the world's population by quite a lot. But it's not the global, oh my god, it's the Black Death all over again type thing. Okay, having arrived at Macau, I meant to pick up the VR drone. So, let's pick up the VR drone. Mr. Higgs! I love this city, the food, the sounds, the nightlife, the disco. Valerie, fancy meeting you here, Mr. Higgs. Taking another night at the disco? Juan! Hello, Mr. Higgs. My father still speaks about the last time you spent a night on the town with him. Juan, you've grown so much since the last time I saw you. Your father has told me about the new AI you've been working on. Quite impressive. We've made some major improvements this year, and this race will be a great platform to show off our hard work. Marvellous. I can't wait to see it. Oh, your invitation. I almost forgot. When I win this year, I plan on announcing my retirement from my father's team. Next year, Flower Bloom will be competing. I think it's great that you and Okada will compete together next year. We should do a behind-the-scenes feature on it. Juan seems really confident in a train. I need to talk to Sophia to figure out our plan. Still need to pick up those balloons and ribbons, Valerie? Of course, you can't have a celebration without them. See you on the tracks, Valerie. It's going to be a fun race. I hope so. I don't like to lose. Okay, good to know. Now, where's it going to send me next? Oh, it's Cut, BC. I don't know why I keep clicking the wrong thing. I'm meant to be clicking the map right about now. I believe that is. Let me zoom out, it's easier to find. I thought it was over here. Somewhere. Guess not. Not over there. Oh, okay. Okay, it's in British Columbia. Well, that's going to take me a while to get to. Because where I am, currently located, it's no particularly great and easy way. I'm going to have to go down to Southeast Asia port. Then hop across to this port, USA West. Then go up into this part of the world. Not a big deal. It's just going to take a little while for me to get there. So we'll start heading in that general direction. And that's where I'm going to end the episode. As always, I hope you enjoyed or put up with my ramblings, or I really don't know what. Yeah, you'll either enjoy or you didn't. And if you didn't, well, there's not much I can do about that now. And even if I could, don't know I would. I'm evil that way. But yes, I do hope you enjoyed. And hopefully I'll see you down the track for more tiny rails in the near future. As... Oh, let me go back. I'm on Africa 1, Chapter 1-6. So we'll see how far I get. What does that 0 to 40 mean? That I do not know. Alrighty. Yep, I'll stop chuntering and delaying now, and I'll see you down the track. Cheerio!